And welcome back to episode 8 of Sports Resort, your number one destination for all things sports. So here today we have me, Joe.
Hey.
We have Ethan today, who was a guest before. We have Austin again, and we have Eric, who was a guest before. Hello, everyone.
It's great to be back.
Yes, I'm here.
So how you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
Good?
Doing good.
A lot has changed in basketball since we last came back on the show.
Yes,
There's so much to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't
Oh.
we start with college basketball?
Yeah, so I was watching the Rutgers game. I didn't watch the last part of it because I was watching a Ranger game, but they blew 11-point lead in a minute and 35 seconds. Did any of you watch that? Or
I
no?
did.
Um,
I was swapping between the Rangers game as well because I'm trying to learn a bit more about hockey.
Good.
It was, I thought they had it, and that loss might.
That loss puts them on the bubble, so even if they win against Northwestern, they might have to play that game again where they the first 4 games like last year.
I think if they beat Northwestern, they should be a qualified team because Northwestern was just ranked a few days ago. Now that I don't think they're ranked anymore, but they're still a really considerable team. They're better than Penn State was, who they made a 19-point comeback against. I think if they beat Northwestern, they should get a lower seed, a double-digit seed, but they'll make the tournament even if they lose in the Big Ten.
I think they'll get a 11 seed and then go to that game, and I think they'll win that game, but then lose to the 6 seed, right? That's who plays the 11 seed.
11 plays 6. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Eric, how are your Knicks doing?
Well, I guess I can say ever since we acquired Josh Hart from the Portland Trail Blazers during the January trade window, we've been on a 7-game win streak. We beat the likes of Boston. We've also beat the Brooklyn Nets. I would say in a little bit of a blowout. Joe, what do you have to think? What do you think about the current Nets lineup?
So
A lot has happened.
we gotta keep Cameron Johnson, Kyle Bridges, Nick Claxton, and Thomas. That's the 4 guys we should keep. We build around them because Cameron Johnson has been showing that he could be a good player. Kyle Bridges is showing he could be a good player. Nick Claxton could be a dominant center, and Cam Thomas could be a great player as well. We build around those 4 guys, and then the next 2 or 3 years we'll be contenders again.
I'm surprised he didn't talk about Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie's been pretty.
Nah, he complains too much. I've been watching all the games. He complains about not getting foul calls.
Mhm.
It's I don't know why he does that. He does play good, but I don't think he fits around the whole structure of the team.
And also now, because of the Milwaukee Bucks' amazing 14-game win streak, now
15.
they're 15-game. My bad. They're now first in the Eastern Conference, and Boston has moved down one because probably they've been losing games, especially to the Knicks.
And to the Nets tonight. Don't worry.
And to the. We'll see about that. We'll see about that.
Yeah, I think the Bucks are gonna make it out of the East.
Why don't we talk about the Western Conference? The Sacramento Kings versus the LA Clippers. That was a wild game. Second highest scoring game in NBA history. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I didn't watch it, but when I saw the score on CBS Sports, I was amazed at how many points they scored.
Same over here. When I heard that, I didn't even know about that game was going on. I think I was watching a different game. I forgot what it was. But I go to sleep next day. I wake up. I look on my phone. I see 176 to 175, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, and surprisingly, the top scorer for the Sacramento Kings was Malik Monk
Not
with 45 points.
not De'Aaron Fox.
Not De'Aaron Fox, not DeMontis Sabonis. That was probably the biggest surprise of the entire night, and Kawhi couldn't miss a shot. Kawhi Leonard was an absolute robot. I mean, he behaves like one for showing no emotion, but he was on point the entire night, even when they went to double overtime.
Yeah.
Do you think that there will be another this high-scoring game within the next 3 years?
With the way the NBA is going.
There definitely will be.
Yeah.
The NBA has changed so much recently with the amount of scoring there's been. Not too long ago, maybe 20-ish years ago, the NBA, most teams didn't even score 100 points in a game. Now you're seeing way more than that. You're seeing 130, 150 average. There's definitely going to be way more high-scoring games as of now.
And to go off that point about defense, Luka and Kyrie are 2 and 4 now as a duo.
Yep.
They're not. They're gonna be first round exits because they have no defense. I mean, they almost blew the lead to the 76ers again last night.
I mean, the way the game is evolving, it's evolving to getting more fouls, going to the line more. You can even see Joel Embiid of the 76ers, a center, who back then would have probably only gotten rebounds and only put up dunks and layups, now transforming into a more versatile player. The center position itself is becoming more versatile with three-pointers like Jokic constantly shooting three-pointers and Joel Embiid making free throws at a surprisingly high rate. It's just the game has evolved so much, even from the past 20 years, from the days of Jordan.
Yeah.
It's like it's a completely different game now.
So, Eric and Ethan, I have a question for you guys, and Joe too. What do you guys like better, a nice high-scoring game of offense that's exciting, or a good defensive battle, like maybe like low 100s compared to like 150, like a low defensive battle to where it's like a lot more precise and the teams are playing a lot better on defense?
Well, if it's a defensive battle, then that means less fouls will be called, which means less stoppage of the game, which means the game will flow more. I mean, I would like 100, over 100 points scored, but not that much points.
I think definitely a defensive game is more exciting than a super high-scoring game. Obviously, it's fun when there's just threes raining, but in a playoff game, for example, obviously the defense is going to be much better. Every possession is more intense, and when you're watching a team work harder for the points, it's a lot more exciting than just constant scoring. Even though that's fun to watch too, I think I'd like to see more defense.
Yeah, I would say also another big important thing is offensive rebounds. Offensive rebounds is really overlooked, I would say, in terms of all the statistics. And maybe the Knicks right now are either first or second in offensive rebounding in the entire NBA. And I would say this is probably why we're in fifth in the Eastern Conference right now. That's why we've been so successful, because we're able to reset our plays and we can get second tries and capitalize on it.
I think that's a great point, Eric. Even as a person that doesn't watch that much basketball, from what I've seen from like certain college basketball games, I do agree with you that if you let a person get a second chance or even a third chance, they're gonna make it, and then those few points will end up becoming big time events that lead to them either winning or losing the game.
Yeah, I would say right now a big sleeper pick right now is actually Golden State.
Yeah.
In the
Golden
beginning
State,
of the
yes.
season, they were around the 11th, 12th, 13th mark, and now they're fifth in the Western Conference.
The West is so packed together. Like
Yeah.
the games, like
It's very jumbled up in the West. You got the Nuggets with 44 wins, Memphis with 38. So Nuggets are really the only team that's ahead, because then under Memphis, Sacramento 36, Phoenix 34, and then underneath that, everyone's got from 5 to 10. It's 30. It's a 2-game difference between the seats.
Yeah, and also Kevin Durant came back from injury for his first game against the Suns yesterday. I believe he had 23 points, if I'm correct, and 6 rebounds and 2 assists, I believe.
Yeah,
Correct
Phoenix
me on
is
that.
absolutely stacked now that they've traded for Kevin Durant. I think that was a great trade for them, but also for
great trade for the Nets too.
I think that a lot of people were making fun of the Nets and stuff, but to be honest, if I had to pick one team who in the next few years is going to be a top team, I would honestly say the Nets. They have a very deep team right now, great defense. Honestly, they have some of the best defense.
That
with Dorian
good right now.
Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, Nick Claxton, Mikal Bridges is a great defender, and they have lots of draft picks. They traded Jay Crowder for 5 second rounds. So honestly, within the next few years, I think if they can get one star on their team, they're going to become actually a competitive team again.
Yeah, I would say after not getting a championship with James Harden and
disappointing.
Kevin Durant, James Harden, and it's been really disappointing. And Kyrie Irving, those are 3 all-star players. They're one of the best players in the NBA right now, if not, and in the recent era. And but now they've chose, the general manager and the organization has decided to go on a rebuilding phase. And I guess it's going to pay off in the next couple of years if they get another all-star, especially an offensive-minded all-star, because their defense is so stacked.
Do you think, a question for all of you again, do you think a team, like how we were talking about how the West is so compact, do you think a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, who's 28-34 right now, will make the playoffs? They could, which the Pelicans, who are 31-32, have, so they're only 3 games away?
Yeah, I think everyone has a chance besides Spurs and Houston to make it. I mean, there's 20-ish games left. That's plenty of time for them to catch up if they go on a streak, right? So I think really anyone in the West is honestly competitive right now.
But Josh said he was fine in the West.
Yeah, I think he has to take back that statement now. I would say the Lakers getting rid of Russell Westbrook.
Whoa.
What are your guys' thoughts on that? For the Clippers,
he's just a scapegoat. He's a scapegoat for everything.
He's going downtown.
I think that the Clippers is a better suit for him. It's nice he can stay local and stuff, but I don't know. He's definitely past his prime, and he's really not a great player anymore.
And the Lakers got D'Angelo Russell and Mo Bamba, which is
but AD and LeBron are injured.
Yeah, so now D'Angelo Russell, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. I don't think Ja's fine in the West. All he has is Desmond Bain and himself.
Jaren Jackson.
Ja's facing charges
Jaren
now.
Jackson.
And JJJ.
And he's being very undervalued.
Yeah.
All right, to wrap everything up, what are your guys' final predictions?
For finals? Or?
Yes, for finals.
Right now, it's hard to say. Honestly, the Sixers have been playing great, but I don't know if James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris can really give them enough to make it to the finals. So I'm going to say probably not the Sixers, but between Milwaukee and Boston, it's kind of hard to say. They're both great teams right now, but honestly, if I was looking at it now, I would probably say Milwaukee, just from how they've been playing. They've gone on a huge win streak so far.
Huge.
And they've been missing Middleton for most of the season. Now that they have him back, I think they could definitely go to the finals. In the West, I gotta say, I don't know. Phoenix, now with KD, I feel like that could be interesting.
They're a championship contender.
Mm-hmm.
They should not be undervalued. And I think for the Western Conference Finals, it's probably going to be Denver Phoenix. And I don't know, it could go either way, honestly, because Denver could have a couple of bad matches, and that could seal the deal. And for the East, it could be, anybody. The top 5 teams: Knicks, Cleveland, Philly,
Honestly, yeah.
Boston, Milwaukee. It's going to be really tough, As it stands, right? I believe the Knicks are going to play Cleveland, which is pretty doable. The Brooklyn is going to play Milwaukee, which is
No, we're going to play, and we're going like 9th seed. I'm
you guys are gonna drop down to a play-in tournament.
We'll win the play-in, but then we'll be the 8th seed, and then we'll lose. Milwaukee will be number 1, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As of now, yes.
Yeah.
All right. So in our next segment, we are going to talk about Major League Baseball. It's finally back somewhat. We are now into the spring training phase. And Joe, what are your thoughts on the Yankees so far?
Doing great so far.
Doing great.
Except Luis Severino not having a very good outing. They've been doing great. Anthony Volpe has had an amazing spring training. Gleyber Torres has been doing good. My favorite player has been doing good. Their pitching has been doing good. A lot of their guys in the minor league have been actually doing great. The only game that was bad, I guess, was when they lost 12-0 against the Rays, but they look great, honestly.
What do you think about? I'm not sure if you watched the game, but do you remember the game Carlos Narvaez? It was 2-2 and with a 1-2 count, bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. He hits a 2-run home run and the Yankees walk off. How do you feel about that game, and do you think he'll be a valuable asset in the future?
I think he'll stay in AAA, but maybe bring him up when injuries happen, because injuries always happen to this team. And in my opinion, Anthony Volpe, I think they should keep him in AAA for a little bit longer, and maybe if there's like an injury, then they can bring him up.
Yeah. I'm not really a big fan of baseball, but this year and this season, I'm going to try to get into it a little bit more. I know baseball is such a big part of American sports, and I think and I know I would say I have a pretty good understanding about basketball and football. And I feel like now I'm going to try to branch out and learn a little bit more about baseball, and especially the Yankees, since they're the home team.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. I
Join the
appreciate that.
Yankees. Do not join the Mets.
do not
Mets are
love
better.
The Mets.
Yeah, join the Red
The
Sox.
Mets are trash,
These
Arav.
guys are the Red Sox.
The Mets are trash, Arav. No, let's talk about the Mets. The Mets are going to get injury riddled the whole season, and they're not even going to win their division.
They're not gonna drop a single game.
Okay.
They won't drop
my
a single
Okay,
game.
buddy.
I don't really like
I
the
mean,
Mets.
if you look at the past, the Yankees have been the best.
I know.
Just
For a
everybody
while.
knows the Yankees. Everybody knows when you think of New York, right? You think
Mm-hmm.
of somebody either with a Knicks hat on or a Yankees cap on. It's not a Mets cap.
Exactly. That's a great point, Eric. That is a great point to make.
Okay.
Maybe they might be wearing a Nets cap now because all the kids like the Nets. But, yeah,
They're just being rebellious.
there's not being
That's
rebellious.
crazy.
It's a lot of younger people like the Nets because of what team they had 3 years ago. So
The Mets still have a pretty good team.
they always had a
Traded
good. They always
away.
have a good
The Mets
team.
always
Ara.
have a good team, but then
They
right
never do
before
anything.
postseason, they
They start
self-destruct.
tanking. Yeah,
They
I
self-destruct
agree.
every single year. It's the same old Mets.
and it
Oh.
pisses me off.
Joe, what do you think about the pitch clock? Do you think it
I don't
betters
like it.
or worsens the game of baseball?
Worsens.
Both.
Yeah, both. Agreed.
Both.
I don't really like it.
Baseball was a unique sport. It wasn't timed. That's my dad always tells me that's why he loves it. And now they're timing it basically with the pitch clock,
Just
and
annoying.
it's too short. Strikes getting called is stupid. That shouldn't happen. They shouldn't reward a pitcher for not even throwing a strike. And overall, I don't think it's good for the game.
Yeah, I don't like it too that much. I mean, if you want to like speed up a game, I get, but there should be like certain things. Like I don't think a pitch clock should be implemented. I think it should be more or less like one thing that I think that should be added in is where you can like challenge a ball or a strike, like how they tried to do that
Yes,
last year in
but
AAA.
That would be too much because unless they only allow it once a game, that would be too much. If they allow the challenge balls.
I think
or
just
strikes.
raise the time if they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, raise the time.
Make
Not
the time longer.
It's like how long is it? 15, 20?
But
It's
I
15.
think
It
it's kind
depends on the situation.
and it's like 8 for the
no,
They
batter.
but,
shouldn't
but,
just
but
allow
I
the
think it's kind of
situation.
stupid that they give allow a strike if you.
That's what you
Don't-
said.
if you don't step into
Yeah.
the batter's box within eight
That's stupid,
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the stupidest
Don't
thing
make
I've
no
ever heard. That
sense.
ruins people's routines. They have to adjust. Like
Ow.
that just shouldn't happen.
I mean, you do have to understand baseball is one of the longer games. It takes 9 innings, takes, I don't know, maybe 3 hours, right? 3-4 hours, depending on it. And they're trying to speed up the game so they can market it more. And from my perspective, I believe they're doing all these things, right? So they can speed up the game, so more people are willing to buy tickets. To go.
Tickets.
Robert
Tickets.
Manfred is not a good owner. He's not an owner. He's the what? I forgot. Of baseball.
CEO.
He's he's like the CEO of baseball. He is not good at doing anything, honestly. The rules he makes are stupid. He still has the Ghost Runner, which is stupid.
I thought the Ghost Runner
Nope,
got
it's-
abolished.
It's still here.
Oh, really?
It's still here. Greater Day Baseball. To finish everything, Sean. My World Series prediction is Yankee Padres and Yankees in 6.
I think it's gonna be Yankees. I could see the Padres. I can't think of another team right now on the spot, but
The Mets
I
are
could
making
s-
the world. I mean, we can
the
see the
Mets are
Braves.
good.
We can see the Braves. We can see the Phillies. A rematch of 2009.
I don't think the Phillies will make it. I think they could have like their same
They
run
had
as
their run
last
like
year.
they had their run like the Nationals did, and
Same
it's
like every
basically-
Philadelphia team did this year. They had their run and none of them could convert. Not their football team couldn't do it. Their soccer team couldn't do it. Their baseball team couldn't do it. They just weren't able to succeed. So, I do see Yankees making the World Series. I've had more faith in the Yankees making the World Series than I had in Dallas making it to the Super Bowl because I think the Yankees are a top
The
tier
Yankees
team.
have a culture of actually winning. I mean, the Cowboys do too, but
Cowboys do too. but-
Yankees have but it's not enforced anymore once Steinbrenner died.
What is it now? 30 years that the Yankees have had at least 500 or better.
And since Jeter was drafted.
It's been I just love being a Yankees fan. It's a lot of fun. Plus, their stadium isn't that far away, so I get to go a few times a year, and it's a magical experience.
Yeah, it's honestly great going to that stadium. I'm going there this year again for the Padres game. I mean, my favorite team is the Yankees. Like for any of my sports teams, I love the Yankees the most. I like baseball the most. I play the baseball video game. I always talk about baseball with my dad, and it's just great. I love baseball.
Baseball is a really good sport.
And
Or you can go. You can go.
and before we end off, Sean, you watched the Rangers game last night.
I did indeed watch the Rangers game
They-
last night.
They lost, but it's okay. They're still gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, you guys are. I think the Rangers are good. What happened? I had the Rangers game on. It was 3-2. I go to finish watching the depressing ending of Rutgers
Oh,
basketball.
that was awful.
I watched it to the buzzer beater. I'm upset. I turned it back to the Rangers game, and I see that they're losing to the Ottawa Senators 4-3.
Yeah. My dad got really pissed that game. He doesn't like how the Rangers. I mean, they should. I don't think they should have traded for Patrick Kane. I think they just stayed at Vladimir Tarasenko because they had to give away another number 1 overall pick for Kane. Karstov, I think his name is. And yeah, I just don't like that. I'm going to see Rangers play, and if they make the playoffs, I'm going to go see them play in the playoffs probably.
You should. How many? Do you know approximately how many games are left in the NHL season?
Yes, because it says their games on CBS Sports. Let me look. They have played 62 games, and there's 82 games, so they have 20 games left. They have 79 points right now.
They should be enough because how does playoffs work for the
Okay,
NHL?
so basically, the Rangers. So it's on your division. Okay, Rangers are gonna play the Devils. So Rangers play the Devils if they stay the same. Lightning play the Maple Leafs. The Bruins will play the lowest wild card, and the Hurricane will play the highest wild card.
Okay.
That's basically how it works.
All right. So, thank you. I think that's everything that we want to
Yes,
go
that's
over.
everything. Thank you
Okay.
guys for watching.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Sports Resort, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.